Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Kev Play. This is Kevin, and we are on episode 37 of The Last of Us Part 2. Last time we came across Liv and Yara, the two Seraphite children, or teens, and we rescued them. They helped us. We came across some infected, lots of infected. And we found a safe haven for them, and now we're continuing on to the, what's it called? To the aquarium to see Owen, see if Owen's there. Is there anything here? Okay. Let's keep going.
Come on. It's right over there.
Almost there. Can't climb this because there's shrubbery or greenery. Naughty Dog's way to say do not climb. Guess I'm just jumping in. Oh, L1.
That current's rough.
Parts. A dead guy. Arrows and a note. Will, I'm going to crash. Despite the adrenaline of this whole shitstorm, this flu thing is kicking my ass. Please let me catch a few hours of sleep so I can fight this thing. I cradled our little bee and put her to sleep. I think she's pretty shaken up by the violence of it all. She asked, Mommy, why did you and Daddy push all those people? I told her that it was the only way for us to get on board. She nodded, but I don't think she fully comprehends. Maybe I should have said something different. I don't know. Anyway, if she wakes up before me, read some of her books with her. That seems to calm her down. Hopefully you were able to get the ration situation sorted out. Love you, Quinn. Interesting. This doesn't look like a happy. They don't look like happy campers right now. Hey, Papa Pig, how's it going? Welcome to the party.
In their sleep. Fuck.
Oh, these guys are killed in their sleep. That's not good. There's a door here. Guess I'll go through this door first. something very foreboding about this area. I was waiting for you to say it. Yep, state of play. Last time I was speculating that maybe there'd be a showcase announcement by the next time I play, but I'll take a state of play. I think it actually makes more sense. Because I think PlayStation's gonna be at Summer Games Fest anyway as a partner, so they're gonna have something to show there. They're gonna have 30 minutes of a state of play. They said 14 titles from PS5 and updates for 14 titles for PS5 and PSVR 2, and a look at some projects that from PlayStation Studios that will be coming out later this year. So that might not necessarily mean AAA. I don't like or AAA first party like Sucker Punch or Santa Monica, but maybe there's like an interstitial game like the Atreus game from Santa Monica that's been rumored to be worked on. Maybe Astrobot could be getting a sequel. Maybe Blue Point has something to show. But it's like when I think about it, though, like it does make sense to have the bigger a bigger showcase of what's to come in 2025 at the end of the year, like towards like September, and that's what people seem to be. A lot of insiders seem to be speculating. What games are going to be there? I don't know. Astrobot can definitely see. Yeah, I can imagine it being smaller games or AA. AA games from PlayStation. I'm sure we're going to see something from Concord. I imagine. Because I think that's supposed to be rumored to come out. Now, the thing is, I remember I saw people on Twitter saying, it says updates on PS5 games and PSVR 2. So that could be a fancy way of saying, like, existing games, and here's an update, like, here's a DLC, like maybe Spider-Man 2 DLC or something, But I think there's a lot of promise in a 30-minute show or a state of play, and within those 14 titles or whatever, there's going to be something of note. I feel like PlayStation hasn't really... They've been very quiet for a while. I feel like we're due for a little bit of something. We know Death Stranding 2 is coming out next year. We know Ghost of Tsushima 2 is a likely thing that's in the works. Hasn't been announced yet, but I could see them if it's like the last thing to show at the end of the state of play, and they're waiting for some big thing to show that could be coming out in 2025. That could be a possible candidate. But yeah, I am very much the most excited about what is the latter half of this year going to look like for PlayStation. Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, Rise of the Ronin, the Final Fantasy Rebirth, those are all solid games for this first half of the year to kind of carry us through. So what else do they have to offer is what I'm saying. I very much enjoyed Helldivers 2. So I'm very much looking forward to what other surprises can, because Helldivers 2 was very delightful. It was a very delightful surprise of how great that game was. I haven't played Rise of the Ronin. I haven't played Stellar Blade. Obviously, I haven't played Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth or whatever, but there seems to be a little bit for everybody, and I feel like that can continue into the next half, and maybe, hopefully, something catches your interest. And I really want to see Sly Cooper, you say. I still have yet to play Sly Cooper 4, so in terms of how I feel with that, obviously I still have a ways to go with that, but Honestly, it would be great to see like something like that, like from like a didn't they announce though Sucker Punch a while ago that Sly Cooper was kind of off the table, at least for now. I feel like they would have. What the hell is that? A dinosaur roar. Which is so it's like, and they just came out with Sly Cooper 1 on that PS Plus catalog thing or whatever it is. I guess it's like a port. This is the crossbow we found. Oh, what's that? What is that? Oh, God. There's a lot of games we're in the dark about, so I'm very much... I feel like the state of play can reveal something, shake something loose. As in, as per what, something unexpected that we might not have, that maybe we anticipate, maybe it's like in our wildest dreams something can happen, but again, we want to manage our expectations. But I have to imagine there's got to be something that's going to catch my interest in this tomorrow. This comes out tomorrow, by the way. It's 6 p.m. Eastern time for me, which is around the time I'll be driving home. So by the time I get home, I'm going to have dinner, avoid the internet, and then watch. So. Ooh, that pop. Okay. I think there's an upstairs, but let's see if there's anything over here of note. No pun intended. Yeah, there's a new Sly PSN avatar as well. Ah, that's cool. I like when they release new avatars. Thank you for your help with that infected passenger. We're lucky to have someone with your training and grit aboard. My crewmates are useless, and I don't agree with the captain keeping the weapons locked away. We can't stay willfully ignorant that we have infected passengers on board this ferry. Weapons storage is on the aft top. Does that say aft? Aft top deck. Combo 907701. Okay, let's remember that. Your crossbow's in there. I trust you on this. And the only way I'm going to be interested with PSVR 2 is if they port Half-Life Alyx. Ah, yes, yes. Right now, Half-Life Alyx, is that on the Oculus? Or is that part of PSVR 1? I don't, I'm so not in tune with PSVR, so... I feel like PSVR 2 has been very quiet for something that you want to really bank to make sure that it ensures some success for the future. So it's good for people who enjoy that stuff that they're going to get that. I personally don't, I'm not a virtual reality person really, like I just like my traditional games on console. But I do have, I gave my mom an Oculus for her, Oculus 2 for her birthday a while back, and I've dabbled with some of the games. I played like Beat Saber and Tetris Effect and all that. So it's definitely pretty neat. It's on Steam. It's never been posted to PlayStation. Okay. I feel like these stealth kills are set up a little too easily. Oh, I just heard... I didn't realize there was a door right there as I said that, and there's a clicker right around the corner. Oh my god. I thought I had my damn... Get down, get down, get down. By the way, Multiversus has launched, and I've been playing that recently. Oh, it launched. How is that game? That's the WB kind of crossover game, right? So I'm guessing it's like similar to Smash, right? And or Nicktoons, the Nickelodeon fighter, whatever it was called. I forget what it was called. I did see like something on Twitter about it. Is Peter Griffin in it? Because that kind of... That's not WB. Now, a lot of people don't like it because it's not as fast-paced as Smash, but I think it plays just fine. Smash is a very high benchmark. You know, that's why I didn't really take the comparisons with like PlayStation All-Stars too seriously. It was trying to do something different. It was more, you know, it felt just as fluid in a way, but yeah, like if you enjoy it for what it is, then you know, that's something that counts, you know. Nah, Peter is not in the game. I saw some weird, maybe it was a Fortnite promo or something, because I saw some weird thing where he was like on a motorcycle or something, and it was a bunch of different character. Oh, it was a fake. I think it was a fake image because it had like Hank Hill on a go-kart in the background with like Stan from American Dad in the background. All like it must have been like some like AI image or something, like some wish fulfillment someone had. See, I meant to use my silence gun, but it's just me. No. I gotta find the safe. But most people who said it looks slow probably haven't played the game. If you actually play, it's good. Okay. This is what I mean. Like, you can't listen to the majority of what people are saying all the time because... Oh, there's a rope here. No, it's just cables. Okay. Because you have to use reviews or like or what people are saying loosely. See how it gauges against what you are actually interested in. And then when you actually get to play it, you can weigh those comparisons and stuff. Obviously, it's easier said than done. Not everyone can afford just buying whatever game they can, and just hope that they'll like it despite what other people are saying. But it's always good to take a chance and weigh all the considerations before buying, and then you can be surprised. You can end up liking it better than most. So. And of course, the game is filled with microtransactions. Hopefully you can earn stuff in-game though, right? Because most of the time when people complain about microtransactions, as long as I can... Well, I guess it kind of sucks if you're playing online and other people have got like stuff that can like give them an advantage over you, and they bought it versus you earning your stuff. That sucks. But as long as you can progress and earn stuff on your own terms without spending a penny, then at least there's that. Yeah, definitely. You definitely can play in the game for a few hours. Okay. There was a game that... I don't know, there was a game that was like catching my attention. I was thinking about whether I should get it or not, but I'm not sure. I think it's System Shock. There was like a System Shock remake, which was like a 1994 PS1 game. And I think it's like a game that Ken Levine from BioShock worked on before he ever worked on BioShock. But I heard the game is like... It's a really great remake, but I've heard the game has kind of a datedness to it. That can be a little clunky and a little old world when it comes to how video game systems are now. But I don't know, I'd have to look into that. I don't know where I'm going. Was I over here? We have a coin? West Virginia. Okay. Meantime, I've still been playing... I'm like towards the very end of BioShock 2. I think like I'm at the I think I'm at the last section because it feels like there's a sense of finale happening with the game. I imagine I'm less than an hour away from completion, but I could be wrong. I like sometimes my how I gauge when a game is ending. Sometimes I could be wrong. Sometimes it ends up just keeps continuing or whatever. But those games are relatively short, or not short, too short, but like not as bloated or long as games tend to be today. But I've very much enjoyed it. I feel like these BioShock games are games now that I definitely would be willing to replay again soon to try to platinum. Because I noticed that I pretty much have like a little over 50% done trophy completion, which is good. Barely without even trying, and just looking at the other trophies, I'm like, I've platinumed much harder tasks in my video game career, so it might be something I might want to tackle. I haven't seen this safe. I've also more or less completed my NHL 24 create a team. I have virtually no actual real life pro players on the team now, which is good because I wanted it to just be completely authentic, of just like friends and teammates I've played with in the past. I've created. I have to say one thing I just didn't say last time too. This is my 17th PS5 game that I own. Or rather 18 if you count Astrobot, but 17 physical games that I have on the shelf now. And NHL 24 surprisingly is the only game, the first and only game that has offline multiplayer. No other game has offline multiplayer, which is bizarre to me. I'm glad that a sports game like NHL can continue the trend of, that couch experience. You can literally play up to 4 players. You can play all on one team together. You can play, 2-on-2, 3-on-1. You can play different modes like shootout mode or like a free skate mode. I lost count on how many games I own. Of how many PS5 games you own, or how many games you own in total? Because I definitely have well over 100 games. Oh, for PS5, wow. Most of those are digital, though, right? Digital purchases. Not that doesn't matter. Not that doesn't mean that you have those games and that you own them, through the purchase or whatever. But also keep in mind, like the PS Plus free games of the month or whatever. I don't do those. I'm kind of scared that I passed this. Yeah, most of it is through PS Plus. Yeah, so me, I kind of deny all those. The only one that I got was GTA 5. It was like a free online thing that they offered. And the only reason I did that was because I already have the physical PS3 version, so I was like, you know what? Why not? It's only the online. I feel like that would be my rule. Is if they had, if PlayStation offered a free game that I already own, that's kind of like a remaster or a report for PS5, then I would grab it. Like, if with them like bringing all these PS2 games to the forefront again, if they brought like Simpsons Hidden Run and there was trophies, I would get that in a second. You don't even add them to your library. No, because here's the thing with that. I know me. I not to say I have an addictive personality. I don't. Like I don't have addictions or whatever, but I feel like I would not be able to get anything done if I didn't discipline myself with just playing the games that I intentionally seeked and bought myself. Even if you never play them, add them to your library. I know, and it is silly of me to do that because it's like, yeah, it's free games that I can have access to forever. Or, quote unquote forever until they decide to take it away if they wanted to. But most likely that I would have it there. But again, it's like I don't need to play every single game. That's why I don't get these subscription services. I don't need to play like I don't need quantity of games that I might want to play at some point. Because me, I'm a collector, and I'm like, I'll just if I'm gonna play it and invest time in it, then I'll just buy it. I'm gonna collect it anyway, so it wouldn't really matter to me. So for me, it's like no skin off my back. I know it sounds very topsy-turvy backwards, but that's just kind of how I approach it. Yeah, but one day you'll look back and say, I might want to play that. And again, I'm still to this day, I'm looking back at games I miss, like, the Sly Cooper collection. I picked it up on PS3, the physical collection. I did the same thing with Ratchet. I did the same thing with Metal Gear Solid. there's collections that come out that I'm just like, you know what, I like to buy the things that I'm interested in, and I like to collect. So I think physical is always gonna be there if I ever want to go back to a game, if I can. If I can't, sure, there's games like the Futurama game for PS2 that's $400 plus on Amazon. If that was a free game that was offered, maybe that's where I would be like, okay. Because I do check when they say, okay, here's the free games for this month, and I do weigh the decision of like, you know, is that a game where it's like, oh my god, yes, absolutely. Depending on the situation, I'll weigh the options or whatever. But most of the time, it's I'm just not interested, or I'm like, you know what? If I ever get around to that game, I'm gonna probably want to buy it anyway. So.
Is this whole damn boat infested?
I'm hoping to find that safe, which is right here. Okay. I didn't want to keep looking for a safe on this boat with all these infected around, so I'm glad I can get it out of the way. Now we got a clicker somewhere. Where are you? Can I open the safe without being harassed by an enemy? That's the question. $9077.01. $90 $77. But isn't that weird though that NHL 24 is the only offline multiplayer game that, or the only game PS5 game I have that offers offline multiplayer? I thought, because I was cataloging all my games as like offline multiplayer, and maybe one day I'll get into it. Maybe like rank them or something, or do something special with it. But every console generation has offered this, even PS4, like a plethora of great titles. I think, like, you know, It Takes Two for PS5 is one that I slept on, which is a, you know, couch co-op friendly, but it's just interesting. What we have here. Identify, counter, and destroy. Improvised weapons and terrorist tactics, a field manual. Federal Disaster Response Agency. Alright. Got some pills, got that. This time let's use our weapon correctly. Guy's coming up. I think it's just a normal guy. Don't come up this way. God. Might want to sneak around and find another human infected. Or, you know, they're all human, but you know what I mean. Regular infected. before I wake the clickers. Or maybe... Oh. He's coming this way, he's coming this way. I guess... My god, there's so many. I don't know where to start. I might as well just shoot one. The next shot's gonna be loud. No! Oh my god. Oh. Oh, I should have used my crossbow, that's what I...
Need to get off this boat.
Alright. Whew.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like, duh, they introduced the crossbow. Use it. I guess that was more exciting, though, than just stealthing around. Definitely could have used this. It's funny how that guy Jeff Grubb is like an insider and everyone always doubts him whenever he says there's going to be something of an announcement of like either a State of Play or showcase or something, and then nobody believes him, and then everyone gets so angry at him, and then he ends up being right. I think people need to realize that even if an insider like that comes out with the proclamation that there's very likely going to be something, you know, within this week or within this month, that's going to be announced, or that was the plan. Plans change. He's only kind of like a, you know, like an insider like that. They don't have control over the message or what Sony intends to do at the end of the day, but they might have an inkling of what the plan seems to be. But plans always change, especially in the corporate world. So, I think people just need to, people just need to tell the difference between a credible source and an insider where events can where the events can change, and it doesn't mean that he's lying or that he's full of himself. It's just that, you know, he didn't claim a specific date or that it's 100% going to happen. He said it's likely going to happen based on what he's heard, throughout the rumor mill of his sources or whatever. So you can't really, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, but you also like, you know, don't just even if he got it wrong doesn't mean he's not that he doesn't have like inside information or anything. We ended up getting a state of play, which is fair, you know. He said that. I think he said he said he didn't know whether it was going to be a showcase or a state of play, but there's going to be something that's going to be set up for this month. So. Got another note here. October 2nd, 2013, 8:20, left San Diego, course set for Vancouver. Crowds trying to get onto the boat crowds trying to get onto the boat while we loaded grew violent, but evac successful. 35 souls aboard, Captain AJ Malador in command. October 3rd, 1450, 2 passengers complained of seasickness. Set up a makeshift infirmary on the lowest deck for them to rest. 10-4, 1338, radio check in with Vancouver Port. Good news so far, no signs of infection among their population. 10-5, 13, 730, passenger Barnes disappeared from the infirmary. Crew dispersed to search for him. 10-5, 13. It's when it's the same date, that means something else of note just happened right away. As soon as someone goes missing, you're either gonna get good news or bad news real quick. 10-5, 13, 1450. Passenger Barnes found, discovered to not be seasick but infected. Passenger Josephine Roberts intervened, wrestled him / it overboard. Which maybe she was bitten. 10-5, 13. Miss Roberts 1905. Miss Roberts requests to have everyone re-examined by ship's medic denied. We don't have the appropriate scanners anyways. Her subsequent request to hand the weapons also denied. I'm not going to let paranoia lead to disaster. Let's see what we got. 10-6, 1835. Despite protests, additional passengers claiming of various ailments, headache, indigestion, dizziness, all temporarily quarantined in the infirmary, quote-unquote, below decks. 10-6, 13, 2017. Visual landfall of Seattle. Tried radio channels to inquire about refueling, but no answer. We'll press forward. Oh, God. 10-6, 2013, 2100. Everyone in the infirmary has been executed. Those people were not infected. This is cold blood murder. No one is going to disembark until we find the responsible parties. Okay, so it's like a murder mystery ferry cruise at this point. 10-6-13. As suspected, it was Roberts, Josephine Roberts. We shot each other. I can't imagine she'll survive. If I pull this thing out, I'll probably bleed out in minutes. Oh, the crossbow. Oh, I see what you're saying. Going to steer toward the shore so everyone aboard can get to land. Port is close. Need to stay. I hear infected outside my door. Was she right? Damn. Oh, by the way, let's bring this up too. Apparently there was like some Sony interview with Neil Druckmann, and they misquoted him. It came off like he was. Well, I feel like even if the quotes were true, it honestly wasn't. I feel like people were really overreacting to this, but basically the quote was, our next project at Naughty Dog. There's a chance that it could redefine mainstream perceptions of gaming, and people chalk that up as arrogance and pretentiousness. And for me, I'm like thinking to myself, like, video games is such an old, I mean not old, it's such a young medium that's evolving so rapidly. You know, uh, in the last 30 years that I've been playing, of PlayStation itself, we've seen graphics overhauls, physics engines, uh, the different genres that are, and the different styles, and all the different game mechanics, and the experimental nature of it all. It's always changing. Metal Gear, Hideo Kojima was revolutionizing things from the get go. Even before that, in the '70s with like not Tetris, what is it? Space Invaders, or whatever, any of those early games. Like, games are so wildly distinguished and different and varied compared to other mediums. A song has different genres, and there's different ways you can approach it. And yeah, that you could say like the Beatles reinvented, revolutionized rock and roll and stuff like that. Then you go back to like uh, like orchestra and classical music and all that. Like, that's all within like the genre and what you do. But like, games are so, it's like, I feel like every 2 years I'm seeing a game that's like completely different from what I'm always seeing. So for him to say something like that, it's really not the craziest thing, especially when he's a proven talent, and he has a vision. And whether you agree with that vision or not, he's realized those visions. He's worked on Uncharted 4. He's worked on like, he brought The Last of Us to life. He even brought this game to life. And I know this is controversial compared to the first, but I do appreciate what he's brought here. And for him to like I've seen interviews where he said like Elden Ring really changed, kind of like really woke him up to like what games can be and stuff. And for someone to like, for me, like, I see someone with ambition. I see someone who's excited about, diving into a game that can be different or new or whatever, and I'm like, what's wrong with that? But everyone else has this like dislike for him, that they were ready to jump and dogpile on the guy. Like, I honestly, like, I think he's like one of the most underrated and very honestly disrespected auteurs of this industry, without a doubt, and it's a shame. Didn't he say something like he revolutionizes gaming or something? I don't think he said that his next game could redefine mainstream perception of what gaming is. And if you take the full quote of what it was, he was going into how there's people outside of, the fandom of games that are starting to become aware of them, especially like in his situation where he's directly working on the HBO show. So there's a lot of people in the television world that are now, or especially with like Fallout and Twisted Metal, and like all these successful, even the Castlevania series I hear is good. Like, people are starting to see these things and then they go, oh, this is from a video game. That's cool. Like, that's what I think he really was talking about to begin with. Didn't he say, it's just because of this game, right? I would imagine. I remember even when Uncharted 4 came out, people were upset about some stuff. Like, thinking, like, I remember for some reason, like, Nadine was a problem because they thought she was just like this, like, it was this like quote unquote woke thing that they added this like female antagonist who can't be beaten by Nathan Drake, and people were thinking that it was like this like feminine thing or whatever, or feminist thing or whatever. But I think that's all silly. I think people need to reevaluate what they're even upset about these days. Before woke was even like the term woke, and I honestly hate that term. Before that was ever really brought to the, was always a constant thing brought up in discourse. Um, you would see things on television or movies, that featured a gay character or whatever. Like, and yeah, I agree. Like, I don't like it when I see a TV show that does it for the sake of it, like diversity for the sake of diversity, rather than actually like primarily wanting to tell a story first, first and foremost. Like, I think of like that show Velma, where they race swapped Velma, and she's voiced by Mindy Kaling from The Office, and the whole like if you watch that show, the whole point of the show is just them. It's just there's like really no crafted jokes. It's just constant like you know it's just like a constant agenda that's being pushed rather than an actual story or an actual interest in creating a world. Because that I get, but when people just see, oh, there's a black character, or there's a gay character, or whatever, and they just like, oh, this is for me it's just like silly, and it's immature, and like I think about like Herman Melville writing Moby Dick, and you know there's gay characters in that, and it's like, were people upset about that? Or was it, or is it not still part of American culture that you can explore different, art being and story being a reflection of, real life and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. But now I'm going down this rant. Basically, what I'm just saying is I think it's silly how people hate on Neil Druckmann. They seem to have some preconceived notion of who he is, when, from what I can see, he's pretty down to earth. He's pretty humble, in my opinion. And I like that he sticks to his guns with the art he wants to create. I think it comes from a genuine place, an authentic place, and I think we need more people like that creating. So the reason he gets hate, yeah, quote unquote, well, yeah, okay. Oh boy, Velma.
Here we go.
It's like I get the criticism of it being like when diversity is kind of like forced for diversity's sake. Where it seems like that seems to be the point of why they even made it to begin with, rather than telling a genuine story from a real, a real passion or desire to. Because I never think about like race or orientation or whatever when I watch stuff. Like, it's like nonsense to like get upset about that stuff. Oh, here's a coin. Utah. Do I have enough pills for stuff? I just got a new thing. Faster crafting, improved melee weapon upgrades, improved pipe bombs, improved silencers, craft more pipe. This one I can probably leave on the back burner for now. What is this? Craft and more momentum, craft improved health kits, faster health kits, momentum duration, craft more shit. This I have done. I would like to get increased health at some point. I'm not so much interested in the listen mode stuff. Holding breath. Remember when voice actors stepped down because they were voicing a character of another race? Yeah, and that was during 2020 with, all the protests that were going on. It's like I still like, and like I think about like Hank Azaria with Apu stepping down, and it was his choice, whatever. But then it was forced against like every animated television or whatever, that every actor had to step down from any race they weren't, one voicing that character. So now like The Simpsons has like Dr. Hibbert voiced by uh, a black voice actor. Carl is voiced by a black voice actor. I watch that show still. Dr. Hibbert is not good. It's very off-putting. Carl is actually good now. It actually sounds like the old Carl. So I'm like, okay, what that's good. But I think Harry Shearer, who plays like Principal Skinner and Dr. Hibbert and all them, he came out recently saying like, he thinks that he thinks it's a shame that happened because, like when he was hired, he plays multiple characters. He wasn't brought on to take away a job from any black voice actors. It was just that was the band of it. It was, Dan Castellaneta, Julie Kavner, Yardley Smith, Nancy Cartwright, Harry Shearer, and Hank Azaria, and they're all white. And maybe that's a problem. Maybe obviously I like the idea of diversity, and I like that equal opportunity and all that stuff for everybody. But they came from the Tracy Ullman show. That was more of just like, for me, it was they're all talented. They the majority of them can play multiple characters, like a whole like spreadsheet of them, and that's why they were playing characters that weren't of their ethnicity, because they needed. They were just a hired hand to kind of lend their range. It was never to like a character like Dr. Hibbert or Carl, like those characters were not to make fun of black people or like to belittle them or anything. It was to, it was just to honor what those characters are, and it had nothing to do with It's like I get it at the same time. Like going forward, I like the idea of it, but an established institution like that, where the characters are so long established, you really don't need to mess with that. I think that was a little silly. To be fair, it was 2020. Yeah, See what happens when we bring up Neil Druckmann. It gets so everything gets so it gets so political and so heavy-handed. Like I try to I'm just free talking here, so I try to be as articulate as I can with all this. But I know that I'm a white guy, so maybe it's not my place to talk about some of this stuff. But it's just like I don't know. That name is cursed. After killing enemy with a strike for a short time, your next main attack will also be a strike. Maybe this is the way to go. I'll go with this. Oh, 68? Yeah, let's go with this one. Did I just walk? Oh, I have to go this way. Okay.
Let's try this again.
I just want to clear the air with that. I think people on the internet were being overreactive, and now a lot of them are walking back their statements. But I say even if Sony didn't Sony didn't apologize for misquoting Neil or misrepresenting what he was trying to say, I still think it was an overreaction on everyone's part, even if he did say that, because all he was saying was that it might redefine the perceptions of how people see games. And I don't think that's very arrogant. I think people mistake arrogance or ambition and excitement for arrogance and pretentiousness. And I think that's it's almost like they want to see something one way and not open their mind to what is actually being said. So, but anyway, video games, they're fun. Or are they? I don't know what's going on here. I'm afraid to break these windows because... Or me... Nah. They would have let me. Let's call it here. It was fun while it lasted. Peppa Pig, it's been a pleasure. Anyone out there who wants to like, comment, or subscribe, it's greatly appreciated. Anyone out there who wants to subscribe, yeah, I already said that. Alright, so you can subscribe to Kev Plays at Kev Plays 9490 on YouTube, or follow me on Twitter at Let's Watch Series. Other than that, stay safe, stay healthy, keep a clear head, and keep on gaming. And we are still playing The Last of Us Part 2. By tomorrow, we will see a state of play. So maybe I'll do an episode a little earlier than normal to kind of. Tomorrow is also game 5 of the Rangers Panthers game. They're still in the playoffs, so I'll be watching the state of play, and then I'll be watching the game. So maybe on Friday or so, I'll do another episode, a little quicker episode. But anyway, we'll call it there. We'll continue on to this ladder soon. Peace out, everyone.